My MP said that we would have a new wellness center. Here we are. It's almost finished.
My community said we needed a new wing to our secondary school. And my MP said yes.
My sister said she needed help to find a job, so my MP created a job fair.
Our athlete said we needed better sporting facilities.
A new early childhood development center.
My neighbors said.
My sister said.
The children said.
Community said.
Roads and a new park. And my MP said.
Yes.
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 Of course.
Nous toutes, c'est yon famille en Micoud Nord. And nous continuons pour faire progrès avec Antigale.
Hello everyone, I'm Norbert Williams, right here on Sky FM 93.1. Join me Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. for the morning edition of Keeping It Real. And on Tuesdays and Fridays, Minerva Ward joining me from Canada, right near the North Pole. Although it's cold over there, it's gonna be hot in here. Don't you forget, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on GVD TV and streaming live on Facebook. Don't you miss it.
These skies this morning. It's not a peak of the sun, no peak of the sky, just dark gray clouds up above and la plia ka tombe y hale pou chauffer. Good morning to you. Good morning. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what's going on. This needs to be centered on me. Good morning and welcome again to Sky FM 93.1 on your radio dial around the island. Nothing changes. It's all the same. Nothing at all. Same thing. Whether you're in Grosley, whether you're in Vieux-Fort, Dennery, Soufre, Labrie, Choiseul, Micoud, Ancillary, Canaries, Babono, wherever you are. It's all the same. 93.1. If you're flying overhead, you can go as high up as you want. We're going to catch you in the plane. Yeah, you know, if you're on a plane and you have your phone or your little radio and you plug in the headphones and you tune to 93.1, you're going to pick it up in the plane. Yeah, that's right, folks. You're going to pick it up in the plane. 11 minutes after 6 in the morning on a beautiful rainy day. Folks, I love rainy days. I just love it. I do everything best on a rainy day. I think better. I'm more creative. I feel like traveling far away on a rainy day. You know, going on a trip, going somewhere new, moving around. I love it. I love it. Read a book. You know, watch an interesting documentary or something. Have a, real interesting discussion. Have a nice chat with a lovely lady, Hey, watch it now. It's just raining beautifully across St. Lucia. Wonderful for the plants and the crops and everything. It's been a little on the warm side and dry side lately. So I don't think the farmers or anybody is really having a problem with this today. Good morning to you down there in Leclerc, Mr. Leclerc. Good morning to you. How are you doing? Doing good. Folks, these past few days have been so interesting. I'm telling you. You know what I'm talking about, but it's early in the morning. And if you have to go to school today or get the kids ready or go to work or whatever, it's 13 minutes after 6. Time to start rolling. Pain chiveyo, man. Pain. Come it. Don't forget to wear your mask. Don't forget to give the kids their mask. Well, they're not going to let you into the school without a mask anyway, so you don't want to make the trip all the way over there and have to go back home. Good morning to you. Good morning, Tatiana. Good morning to Tita. Tita! Saka fetan bala. Saltibus. Tita in Saltibus. Good morning to you. Teresa Actil, down there in the south. Yeah. How are you, Teresa Actil? You know, people send me, let me just change things around a little bit this morning. Good morning, Norbert Williams. How are you today? Oh, I'm feeling great. Wow, you look bright-eyed and bushy-tailed today. Well, that's because it's a rainy day, and I love rainy days. And, I'm sure many of you out there love rainy days. It just makes you feel cozy. It just makes you feel good. Just makes you feel good, Just throw anything at me. I'm ready. Rrr. You know. It's another Thursday in paradise. I was coming in here and it was raining. I was like, gosh. Some people don't like rainy days, Some people just don't like getting their feet wet. I don't like getting. If my feet get wet, it's so much water. It goes into your shoes, goes into my shoes. I just get enragé. It just makes me, like to be dry. I don't mind being out in it. You wear your raincoat, whatever. Those of you who've traveled around and, been out there in the snow. Oh, the bad S word. Everything just gets quiet when it's really snowing hard. It's like the snowflakes, the dense, the heavy snow just absorbs all the sounds, It's just quiet. But I know some people really, really love it when you have the experience of the galvanized roof, the galvanized sheets up there. Oh, ça qu'a fait au dormi do. You're curling up like a cat. Then you know what I'm talking about. Well, let's see what the weather says for today. Well, if I'm to go by this here, it's currently, it says, currently 75 degrees, going up to a high today of 84. It's completely overcast all day long. It's going to be looking like this. And the chance of rain is going to increase through the afternoon until about 1 o'clock, where we have a 54% chance of rain. And the temperature will be 82 degrees. But hardly any opportunity to see the sun today. So it's going to be overcast all day today, not clearing up overnight, with high probability of rain. So if you're leaving, if you're coming back later, or you're leaving now, you should take your waterproofs, your Wellingtons, your boots, your second pair of shoes if you live over there where you're going to have to do battle with some mud. The worst kind is the clay kind that's yellow and red and, it just makes a mess. Unlike the dark dirt in the more fertile areas, you could just brush that off, just wash that off. But, the clay kind of thing, it's very difficult to get that off your clothes. Very difficult. So anyway, if you're having your coffee, I'm sure you must be nice and cozy with your hot cup, your hot mug, or your hot tass of coffee, a Joe, a Colombian or Java, Indonesian coffee, wherever your coffee is from. Whether it's from Kako in Babono or down there in Soufre or Choiseul, wherever you get your coffee from. There's coffee in St. Lucia, right, folks? Yeah. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, at 6 o'clock, right here with me, the one and only Minerva Ward, who's going to be my co-host. And tomorrow we... Let's just say it's going to be hot tomorrow morning. That's right, hot. How you feeling? Hot, hot, hot. Good morning. Let me, I haven't had a look at the diaspora crowd yet. Let me have a look at them. Oh, they're all, They're all here already. It'll take me by surprise. How are there so many people from Barbados? It just jumped out at me like Barbados, 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 Barbados. What's going on there, Bridge? What's going on there, Bridge? United States and St. Lucia and Barbados and St. Kitts, Antigua, Trinidad, Martinique. Bonjour, Cayenne. Bonjour, Guadeloupe. They're all here. London, England. You know, of course, New York, New Jersey, Toronto, Canada. What's going on? Australia, New Zealand. And we have a Chile. Who's it? Which Lucian is in Chile? We have a connection here from Chile. Argentina. Mexico. Mexico. Puerto Rico. Good morning to all of you out there in the diaspora. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's another morning edition of Keeping It Real with yours truly, Norbert Williams, here with you from 6 a.m., which was 19 minutes ago, to 8. So much for that. Yes, 456-0931 is the number in the studio. 456-0931. 456-0931, and of course, the WhatsApp number is 485-0931. 485-0931. And WhatsApp is, you know, folks, reserved for the more frugal ones out there. And those of you out in the diaspora who don't want to call long distance or international, you know, it adds up real quickly. So you can use that. So don't try to call in on the WhatsApp number, you know. Leave that for the people who have that as an option. If you want to call into the studio, 456-0931. And Saturday I was actually in Castries South, Bar Saint Joseph. You know, it's a place that most people have never been to or been through. A lot of nice people out there, you know, Bar Saint Joseph. A lot of nice people out there. I met some people there, Tatiana, and some people by the unfinished bar. I'm going to give them a shout out in a while, you know. I'm going to give them a shout. Let them get up, you know, over there. I'm sure it must be nice and cozy. I'm telling you, folks, I've never seen anywhere with so many mango trees like Bar Saint Joseph. I'm telling you, everywhere, everybody's yard has about 100 mango trees. Yeah, about 100 mango trees in there. And breadfruit, boape, wood bread, boape. Boape kon blag. I don't understand it. And puin, la ben puin an di dan la. La ben puin, la ben mango, la ben boape. What else they have there again? Maybe somebody who's familiar can tell me what I missed. But it's like the place is overrun. It's invaded by mangoes. Mango, tout qualité mango. I think somebody told me, mentioned some mango I never heard, mango tiguen or something like that. What's going on in Bar Saint Joseph? You must have gotten that from a spaceship. Mango tiguen. Maybe you can confirm to me if there really is such a mango. Maybe they were making it up. You think so? I don't know. I need to know if there's any mango called, or if you know any mango called mango tiguen. I don't know. I never heard that one before, so you need to update me. I need to update the memory banks. Mango tiguen. You know, I haven't had maybe one. I remember when I was growing up, there was so much more available to me. Maybe it's because we had a few trees or something, but mango palui. Oh, I love it. It's just the right texture, folks. It's not too stringy, you know, not too stringy, not too soft, you know, it's just the right texture. Harsh. Put your teeth into that. Nice and ripe. And, love that. You know, yesterday I had a nice bouillon, d'amboué and lache cochon. Or what was it there? Lache cochon or salted salted beef or salted something. There was some type of dead animal in there. It tasted good. Tasted good. I love my boot. Oh, a day like today, you out there, you get wet, you get cold, you get cool, You're doing some work outside, or whatever you're doing, you get the blood racing, doing something out there. You come in, have a shower, relax, and roar. Let me know what the weather is like. Seems like it's clearing up already. It's brightening up some more outside. And here's that first call for the morning. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real.
Mr. Norbert, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Doing well. Glad to be your first caller.
Great.
I've broken the ice, I guess. What I want a couple of things on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Miss Lady from Denver North last night.
Ferropolius.
Man, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with her humble nature, with the fact that she's been on the ground from day one, with the fact that she's been a contributor for eons, years it looks like, in that community.
Yeah.
And she's finally decided to take the step to represent the community. I can only wish her all the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's something that's a bit more troubling that I have to get to.
Oh, yeah? What did you do this time?
It's not what I did. But sometimes the way it's been going up late, it looks like it's always we who do something. Huh?
Yeah, well.
So one, the incident with our famous friend up in the forest at church.
Yeah.
What a fiasco.
Fiasco? That's putting it mildly.
Putting it very mildly, First of all, the illegality of it is obvious. I think it's clear that he needs some help and he should recuse himself from this
I think so
election.
too.
And get the help that he deserves. Go through the 5 stages of grief, because clearly, it's impacting him severely.
But other than that, or besides that, he wants to represent the people. And, you're supposed to have, or you should have, as, well, I'll say as a parliamentarian, as a representative of the people, a great deal more self-control, restraint
of course.
than that. Also, the example that you're setting, and, especially those from his side, who talk about all the time about crime and crime figures, and everybody has acknowledged that crime is always something that has to be dealt with. It's always something that we have to work on.
Yep.
And that a lot of the young men nowadays, that's what they talk about, the gang violence and conflict resolution. Where was his example of conflict resolution for the young people to look up to and say, well, that's how you handle it?
But by extension, if we take that to the deputy leader of the opposition, and that's the concern that it's getting a bit too prevalent now. It's like you said the last time. It's like a conditional thing. You can't be you first and foremost, what happened down there, down the coast, whether it be an impromptu rally or not, it is fundamentally wrong. It's illegal. It's against the law. Why then would you say that if there are steps taken, and the commissioner of police is not suggesting that we go and arrest everybody and put them in jail, and it may just be an issue of a citation, cautioning, something to that effect. And if it
let's not preempt the police.
I don't want to preempt it, but I'm saying if it warrants someone being arrested, then that is the case. But to say that happened and it will be dealt with in the courts of it, so you are already putting your party.
But caller, saying that it will be dealt with or they'll take it to the courts is ridiculous and redundant. because it is going to the courts already.
I mean,
as if
every time it's like putting up a fight. It's always a fight. It's always.
But you know what? You know what? Let me tell you something. I saw that ridiculous comment last night on the news. I happened to just be at the right place in front of the TV to see it. And it seems like the SLP has a knack for trying to make everything a big deal.
And us versus them.
Yes. And he come out with these two things of St. Lucia or whatever. But you know what? Let him go ahead and create another fiasco just like they did for what happened on Saturday. You see what happened on Saturday there? That thing could have been done a long time ago. But because they decided, you see, unnecessarily, it's us against them. Wow, we have to protect, defend. And defending the indefensible.
Defensible. I mean, we have to be, let's just stop for a while.
Yeah,
folks.
that's
And
right. That's very good what you said.
Miss
Stop.
Polio said it so accurately last night. We can have differences of opinion. We can have differences of policy. But there must be a level of maturity. We need to evolve as a nation.
That's right. We keep regressing with this nonsense.
To be so myopic, and
well said.
Borderline barbaric. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
We are more than that.
Not just that. Facilitate and encourage it.
You cannot do that. We know that the actions are fundamentally wrong. Why would you stand as a deputy leader and attempt to defend that?
Well, maybe he is, shall I say, out to outdo someone else?
Well, but I know that. that is very obvious.
Yeah, very.
Because, clearly he doesn't fit within the pecking order. He's jumped a couple of succession ladders, succession rungs in the ladder, and everybody knows what his aim and objective is. But like him and his party, patience. If St. Lucians decide you and your party will represent them,
the people will decide.
Past the next election, they will vote you in.
Yeah.
And if not, the UWP will have an opportunity to continue what is started.
Yeah.
But can we be respectful? Can we be human beings?
Halikasi
we
at
fear
every opportunity.
Going down the road, of what happened in Africa when people begin to call each other cockroaches and, that sort of behavior insinuates. That's ridiculous. Stop that foolishness. Anyway, my brother, have a good one.
Thank you very much.
I hope that solutions, in fact, not I hope, I know that solutions are a bit more cognizant of what's going on, and shows like this, and it's important. It's critical that both sides give St. Lucia the opportunity to hear what their plans are, how they intend to evolve the country, where they intend to take it, and let St. Lucians make a choice. And stop this bickering and silliness. It doesn't make sense.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you. Have a great day. Thanks for keeping it real. And we have another caller, this time via WhatsApp. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good.
Okay. I would like to send belated birthday greetings to my grandson. Belated birthday greetings. His birthday was last week.
Okay.
On the 23rd, and I forgot to call. Yeah.
Great.
Belated birthday greetings to my grandson Dante Charles. He turned 9 years old.
Wow, 9 years.
Yeah.
Big boy.
Dante Charles. I would like to wish him all the best. Godspeed, and I would like you to play a beautiful song for him. I don't know what song, but a song of your choice.
Okay.
For him.
Okay. Dante Charles.
And grandma love you, Dante, and be good at school. Study well, study hard.
Okay.
Yeah, have a blessed day, everyone, and good morning to everybody listening.
Thank you very much. Have a great
Bye.
day. Thank
Yeah.
you. Bye-bye. Okay. 4560931 is the number in the studio. And our WhatsApp number is 485-0931. 485-0931. Lovely rainy day today. Somebody said to me, I'm under my down comforter, having a cup of hot chocolate, listening to Keeping It Real in the morning. Can't keep away. Can't keep away. Ah, yes, folks. You know, I want to play for you here. Let me see. I wonder how I should do this. I want to play for you, well, a voice note that has been going around from a pastor, I presume, one who takes the book, the good book, you know, the Bibla, seriously. And I listened to it yesterday. It was sent to me by multiple people. I have not been able to ascertain who he is, but I don't think that's too relevant, because the important factor in all of it is the message and the analysis of what's going on and the practicality of what's being said. You know, it's just like people want to latch on to titles. Doctor this, you know, unless you have a doctor. We have another call. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Morning, Norbert.
Good morning. Oh, I'm doing great. Much better now that I hear your voice.
Just wanted to inform you. So I've left home, Beaufort, Grace to be exact.
Mm-hmm.
Still very cloudy and overcast.
Uh-huh.
The water is over the bridge down by the boxing plant in Grace. So I had to make a U-turn and go via Oji.
Okay.
To come out to Larry Shoes to come up the road.
So I guess it would be safe to presume that it's raining all over St. Lucia right now.
It should be, I am assuming, but I'm driving up the road. My husband is ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
He's generally going up, and he called to say that there's a lot of water on the road.
Uh-huh.
So he was calling to say be careful.
Right.
It's very dangerous. So I'm just saying to our listeners, maybe coming down from the south, I'm not too sure what's happening up north.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're commuting from the south going up,
yeah,
be very careful. Maybe perhaps as I get closer to Car Street, if anything changes,
right,
or if I see anything, I'll call you back.
Right, okay, great.
But the Larry Shoes Bridge, that's the bridge known as the fiberglass bridge.
Uh-huh.
The water is just under that bridge as well. So
okay.
if it continues to rain, we may very well have that bridge, the water over that bridge,
yeah,
with Larry Shoes Beaufort as well.
Okay, great. Well, thank you.
But as I said, I'm making my way. I have to say I'm very pleased to report, though, Norbert, that perhaps some of the distilling that the government has undertaken has worked and helped.
Yeah.
So, for example, in the Opicon area, as you approaching Opicon, that was an area that was always flooded with rain. So imagine the water is over the bridge in Grace, but in that Opicon area, there's absolutely no water. And I know there was some extensive distilling that was done in that area.
Okay.
So perhaps we may not see too much impact of the water because of the distilling program that we have undertaken.
Right. Okay. All right, great. Thank you for that report from the south.
Okay, well, enjoy your coffee. When I get to office, I'll have mine.
Okay. Have a safe drive.
You too.
Thank you very much. Thank you for keeping it real. None other than Nancy Charles, reporting from down south, heading up north. But you know, folks, one of the things that you take for granted, that we take for granted, you know, when things are all right, you know, nobody really notices too much. You know, you just go about doing what you're supposed to be doing because you expect things would just, you know, flow. And since the works by the Honorable Guy Joseph down there in Castries Southeast, in the desilting and doing everything that needs to be done as much as possible to desilt the rivers and to clear the drains and everything, we've had some of the heaviest rains, and nothing down there in Bexon that we knew all along throughout our lives would be flooding. By now this morning it would be impassable. You know, it doesn't mean that it can't happen, but it's going to take a while. And I think that's one of the things that so many people have commented on. So many things that people have commented on. And, you know, I was talking about the pastor, and that people seem to be caught up on titles and doctor this and this one that, and this one has a Lolo Bef, you know, an LLB, and this, that. But people can observe and report and discuss and comment on, give their ideas on issues, and be very profound. Be right on the money. And this voice note that was going around yesterday is right on the money, folks. Right on the money. And it's with regard to this situation on Saturday. This situation on Saturday. And I will want to play that for you because I think it's very important that you hear it. Very important. So, what I will do is get it all lined up so that you may listen. If you just give me a second here, let me just do a little thing here, make sure that we don't get any interruptions. You know, just get it perfect. Perfect. So here I want you to listen to this. Listen very well. Here we go. Uh-oh, so that's not playing. So we got to go to the next one.
Why am I saying this? The church is not the people's church. The church is the church of God. It is the church of God. And anytime the people of God gathered together in any location, God says that he is in the midst with his people. And I am not sure how one can, unless that person is experiencing a mental breakdown, then we can understand that people do suffer from mental challenges. But outside of that excuse, there is no other excuse for anyone walking into a Seventh-day Adventist church, a Pentecostal church, a Catholic church, or any church that is open for worship. No one should walk in and disturb their service. No one at all. There is no excuse in the world that anyone can give. And I believe it is time for one, politicians to guide their supporters accordingly. Two, there need to be strong statements being issued and apologies being issued to the Seventh-day Adventist Church on a whole. The Adventist Church, you see, is not just the St. Lucia mission. The Adventist Church is not just Forestier or wherever the person went in. The Adventist Church is a worldwide movement. When one church is embarrassed, the entire world church feel that embarrassment. And I am saying that the St. Lucia Labour Party representative, this might not be the position, of the St. Lucia Labour Party, but because this individual is part of the machine, then that the Labour Party would be held responsible for that action, and therefore there need to be a public apology to the Seventh-day Adventist Church worldwide. I'm going to say this again. There need to be an apology from the St. Lucia Labour Party, and not just a written apology, but there need to be a public apology to the people, the members, administrators of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Listen very well, folks. This is very profound. Listen very well to the reasoning and how, if I should say, we do it in a civilized world.
The island. Now, I'm going to go further into the discussion, but remember this. I want to say this clearly to everyone, that I am a Seventh-day Adventist leader, and two, I am not a politician, and I am not into active politics. I am not. I follow politics very closely. Why? Because I believe the lives of individuals sometimes depends on policies that the government have put in place. So it do affect people. And because I am an ambassador of goodwill, and because I am a missionary, one who looks out for the poor in different countries of the world, I follow politics very closely, looking at policies and looking at decisions that have been taken by political parties. That's what I do. And so again, I want to set this clear. I am not into politics. I am not an SOP. I am not an opposition. In St. Vincent, I am not a United Labour Party. I am not a NDP. In the United States, I am not a Democrat, neither am I a Republican. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist Christian who look at the issues and make decisions privately. All right? I make decisions privately. Now, let me just address Henry, who said I'm very disappointed with a biased posture. And this is what I'm speaking about. This is a good example of what I'm speaking about. I made it abundantly clear that there is no excuse for any person, unless your excuse is that you have a mental issue, or for that period of time you had a mental breakdown. Then it's understandable, because you are not in your right mind. You have a medical condition that many persons suffer with, especially during this corona crisis. We have had to counsel and to guide persons who have had challenges mentally. So we understand that. So again, if that's not an excuse, then no person has a right to walk into any church, as I said, and I'm going to repeat myself, whether they are Catholic, Seventh-day Adventist, Jehovah's Witness, or they are evangelical. All right? Are we together? So I just want to set that clear. I just want to set that clear. We had a pause in the broadcast earlier. So, I am not sure where the bias is, Mr. Henry. I am not sure where the bias is. And I wish that you can help me not to be biased. But I'm saying it again, that there is no excuse that you can give walking into a Seventh-day Adventist church or Pentecostal church or a Catholic church service and disturb that service. There is absolutely no excuse for it. And anyone who supports it, I am calling shame on that individual. I'm not calling the wrath of God on anyone, because all human beings will answer to every action, whether it be good or whether it be bad. I'm not the judge here. So I am not even sure what posture of biasness is this individual talking about. And this is the mentality that is destroying a people. It is dividing the people, it's destroying relationships. It is destroying relationships. And I'm calling again the leader of that party, whosoever that person is, to issue a statement on this matter, a clear statement, no excuse, but an apology, a clear apology to the Seventh-day Adventist Church. I don't care who you are. And I think there needs to be a pause button pressed now, tonight, in St. Lucia. I have seen insults, embarrassment, humiliation to government officials, to opposition officials, name calling. People are treated like dogs, are being treated like animals. The last thing I saw this week is that the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Mr. Alan Shastney, it was said by I think the opposition leader that he is not a St. Lucian and he do not understand the people. And I am not into politics, folks. I'm a preacher. But I believe the church leaders are silent on these matters. Church leaders need to stand up and call it out. Whether it's in government or in opposition, call it out.
That's right. And we've been hearing that call. Where are the other church leaders? Where are the people who you only hear from them at certain times? You know what I'm talking about, folks. And you know, if the tables had been turned, if the roles had been reversed, you'd hear a lot. You know what I'm talking about. But surprisingly, and not surprisingly, they're silent. You don't hear anybody from disassociation. You don't hear anybody from disunion. You don't hear anybody from that place over there that has absolutely nothing to do with anything. But they all develop a civic voice. Concerned citizens. And this, that, and they pop up like grass all over the place. But now we have this historic event. This will be on the history books of St. Lucia forever. Whether you like it or not, what happened on Saturday is history.
Ask them to stop. You have spiritual authority and leadership. Ask persons to cease, to stop. Because we believe that all St. Lucians, all Vincentians love their country and want the best for their country. Think about it. Persons looking from the outside into your politics.
That's right.
And see you calling your minister
Well, you know what, folks? What he just said there, let me just go back there, is so profound. Think about people looking into St. Lucia from the outside and wonder what they're thinking, wonder how it affects St. Lucia's image on the worldwide scene. But we have seen, folks, let's be honest, let's keep it real. We have seen persons here in St. Lucia. You know who they are because they've made no bones about it. They've made no attempt to cover who they are and what they're doing. That will spew the lies that will publish the articles in foreign mediums, in foreign papers, to sully the name of St. Lucia. We know that. There are those who said that they will write to foreign investors, tell them not to invest in St. Lucia. You know what I'm talking about because you've heard it. There are those who will write to foreign governments through their embassies and the high commissions in St. Lucia and say not to accept the appointment of individuals who this government has selected to be a high commissioner somewhere, sabotaging their own people. We hear parliamentarians, sitting parliamentarians elected by the people to defend and protect St. Lucia. That doesn't only mean from war or pestilence, but it means reputation, it means image. Who went to Dominica and said that what was happening in Dominica at the time during their last elections year before, the violence that was going on there, the halekase, the uproar, which got to such a point that the RSS, the regional security system, had to deploy to Dominica because the security situation there was descending into a hole, into violence. Someone was killed, people were injured, bullets were fired, tear gas was fired. We remember that on the news. And you had a sitting St. Lucian parliamentarian go over there and say that what is happening in Dominica was planned in St. Lucia, and that for what they're doing, what they did in St. Lucia, the plans to create all the havoc that occurred in Dominica, we must vote them out. But you know, I don't want you to take my word for it. I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to listen to this individual for yourself. I want you to listen for yourself. Because it's very troubling. And this person wants to make it into government in St. Lucia. And up to now, nobody has asked any question. He has not apologized. Stoic defiance, circling of the wagons to defend. And we know the talk about there needs to be transparency and accountability. The most unaccountable. Take me to court. Take me to court. That's what it is when you're dealing with the public business. Flout the laws however you want. Do whatever you want. And then you challenge people. Take me to court. But let's listen to this individual in Dominica.
Be careful of the United Workers' Party. Very careful of them. Do not fall for their tricks. And I'll tell you something. You see all what's happening in Dominica?
Listen.
That's well planned. And it was planned in St. Lucia. It was planned in St. Lucia to happen in Dominica. And I'll tell you more. For what they're doing to Dominica, we have a responsibility in St. Lucia to make sure we vote them out at the next election.
I was flat down plat à terre when I heard that. Flat down plat à terre. For what they're doing in Dominica. They planned it in St. Lucia. And we must vote them out at the next elections. Moi vle autant li pou ko ou sav. Moi vle autant li pou ko. Listen to this.
And I'll tell you more. For what they're doing to Dominica, we have a responsibility in St. Lucia to make sure we vote them out at the next of the United.
For what they're doing in Dominica, we must vote them out at the next. Folks, you ever hear that? You ever hear that kind of thing? But let's continue Let's continue. Let's continue.
Why am I saying this? The church is not the people's church. It's the church of God. It is the church of God. And anytime the people of God gathered together in any location, God says that he is in the midst with his people. And I am not sure how one can, unless that person is experiencing a mental breakdown.
Oh, you know, that's started over. Let me get you to the end.
I am not into politics, folks.
There we go.
I'm a preacher. But I believe the church leaders are silent on these matters. Church leaders need to stand up and call it out.
That's right.
Whether it's in government or in opposition, call it out. Ask them to stop. You have spiritual authority and leadership. Ask persons to cease, to stop. Because we believe that all St. Lucians, all Vincentians love their country and want the best for their country. Think about it. Persons looking from the outside into your politics and see you calling your minister a dog, see you calling your minister all sorts of ridiculous names, bringing down your government. And by the way, if you're a Christian and you are engaged in such matter, you need to repent, because that's not the spirit of Christ.
What can I say, folks? Do you really want me to say anything else? Where are those who suddenly find their voices of condemnation when it's convenient to them? Where are those organizations? Where are those avocats sans papier or AP papier, the LLBs, the Lolobefs? Where are they? Where are they? Where are the suddenly conscious Dr. Eknos that just pop up out of wherever, who have opinions that do not relate to what they're doing, but they're conscious solutions all of a sudden, you know? Where are they? Where are the people who like to agitate them? The hypocrisy of yours is so palpable you can cut it with a knife. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Yes, good morning, Robert.
Morning, sir.
Yes, that's nice to hear one of the ministers of the Seventh Adventists from the States.
Yep. Well, he's St. Lucian, and he has a thing online, and I was informed. He said he's a pastor. He was a former elder.
Okay.
He travels the world.
Yeah.
So I don't know what part he was when he made that statement.
No, but remember yesterday I told you, if any of the ministers don't call out for this trouble, these things that happen in the church, we need to, the government need to free the guy that, stepped into the church last year. And
in 2000, 21 years ago.
And I need all the other denominations to call out. Because if we don't call out, we are telling the people around there, the people that don't have good, they could step in a church and do anything. Because if a man that stand, calling yourself Seventh-day Adventist, you are going up for election in St. Lucia, and you don't have that mind. You leave your home, but you drive, but you stop, you walk into that church. There is no other mind that tell you, boy, that's not good to do. People call a spade a spade. It's not good. Let us call it out. And we don't want apologies from the opposition leader. That man has to stand, go to the media, go to the radio stations, call and say that he is sorry and whatever, forgive him.
Caller, let me tell you something. it is so disappointing, to say the very least. It is so disappointing to see the type of news coverage, the journalistic coverage that we have. Because this is yet another opportunity where you see that our so-called journalists have the opportunity to make this country a better place.
Yes.
And people can argue and talk all the nonsense they want. Investigate it properly and let people understand, listen well, what grief is, what the law is, what your responsibility is as a citizen, what your responsibility and expectations of you are as a politician, as a former senator, as a God-fearing person.
Yeah.
And make it a teaching, a learning moment for St. Lucians to realize that, hey, because that's how we grow as a society. And if they want to call themselves the whatever they want to call themselves, whatever they want to call themselves, that where is the information on what mental wellness is? I'm not making excuse, I'm not creating nothing, but all of these things that I'm talking about here have come up in that big conversation. What are the responsibilities of a firearm holder? Who is allowed to have possession of a firearm? What is the chain of custody? What is an alibi? What is a threat? What is an assault? What does the law say about invading a church and interrupting all of that?
Yes.
How many people, how many stations, how many channels have you heard tell you about
None of them.
the criminality, the criminal element of what happened on Saturday? None.
None of them. None of them.
Except right here.
Yes.
How many of them you heard mention section 566 or 567? None.
None.
It's a failure. Failure. The shallow reporting, the reporting that wants to pretend that they're doing an unbiased and accurate job. And when you're done with listening to that report, it has raised more questions than it's answered.
Now let me give you a little story about myself. Once I was attacked by my brother. I won't mention anybody's name.
Yeah.
But I had some planting tree by my home, and my brother passed and cut all the plantings. We get into a little trouble. But words change. Even stones, I tell stones behind him. You know, that rests for my sisters talk to me. People talk to me, I rest that case. Even police that come up and, like telling him that he need to be arrested. Because you cannot come by a man home and chop all his garden. But I didn't go any further.
Yeah.
But my brother keep on telling people that he has, to hit me back, He has to find me a place, and he will show me what kind of man he is. I'm not afraid of him. You know what? When I wake up at my home one morning, I went to his place. I saw he leaving his home very early, about 5:15 in the morning. No, but a lot of things come into my mind. No, but I took my car the next day. I drive up to the place where he's going to his garden. Around that time, no, but it's a little dark. There's nobody on the road. No, but when I reached to the place where the man going down the ditch where his garden is, I pass him. I stop. He don't know he's been there. No, but when I came out from the car, I could not come out from my foot from the wheel, behind the wheel. I could not. My body freeze. The man passed. He don't even notice his either there. He passed until I could not see any part of him. Then my body come back. No, but I had no intention. All my intention is to knock him out. Fall him behind the car and gone through him. God stopped me. We could think, but there's another voice that could tell you, hey, these things you're doing, these things you're planning, and you're telling me you're a man of God. You, at the church, sometimes you're a church leader, sometimes you're elder, sometimes you're deacon, and these things are coming back into your mind. No, but I tell you, my body freeze, man, but I could not come out behind the car. I could not. And all my intention, man, about is to knock him out, fall him behind the car and gun for him. Because of what he has said to people, when he get me, I don't know the man mind. So that man can't tell me that there's another spirit that tell you that when you pack your jeep and walk out from the jeep and walk to the church.
You saw the track, of course, caller. You saw the video.
Yeah.
It took a while, and then to park out of view of the church.
That's it, no,
to get out of your vehicle on that rough road. Caller, that road rough. I'm telling you, it doesn't look like that on the video, but it's rough.
Yeah.
I walked it. Because I was the one who took that video. To turn the corner, lano go to la shimea. You must have looked ahead to see the church. Because you have to see who's around, what's going on, where you're going to. To walk down at least 100 meters from the corner itself. From the other corner to the main road, another 100 meters. To walk down there in the rough road, you had to watch where you were going. You had to think about what you were doing. You had to think about the justification for what you were doing. And nothing in your mind. You had so many opportunities driving all the way up to Forestier. And clearly, from what has been said, what everyone, and I will say the whole world, has heard from that videotape, you making reference to things that people can't believe that you would be upset about. That somebody's saying to someone that they're your friend. That's what you're saying? That somebody sent you a message of condolence because of the death of your son, and you're saying, I'm not your friend, why are you messaging me? I would think that would be something that anybody would be, I don't want to use the word flattered, that's not the right word, but you would be humbled by that. Even in your grief, that somebody you don't have that friendship with, as far as you're saying, that person would put all that aside and say, accept my sympathies on the passing of your son. You mean that? You mean you're so much of a bad person that will rile you up?
Yeah.
that you see, this is the irony,
Yeah.
That you're so enragé with somebody, that you have a death, you in grief. And even in that death, that person puts it aside and extends sympathy to you. And that makes you enragé. Wow. And you want to aspire for office, elected office in St. Lucia? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, something's wrong.
Yeah.
But
and the name you calling your church, that you giving the church a name, and you're a baptized member, sometimes you're a deacon, sometimes you hold a position in the church. That man need to step out and take a backseat in the church.
But
leaders, call it out.
I don't know. This is just so sad And that's to put it mildly. You know, it's just so sad that at a time when people expect that anyone would be trying to remember their loved one, trying to remember the good times, the good moments, looking at photos, talking with friends, talking with family about what they did growing up, where they went to, things the person said, things you remember, the music that they like. Instead of that, this is just sad. But you know, that's all, you know, people, you know, let me be clear. People make mistakes, little mistakes, big ones, badly thought out actions they take. Okay, so you went there. Instead of now acknowledging, taking responsibility, asking for accountability, saying that you're sorry, you go on a campaign to validate, and the people around you who should be more of a guiding force, who always call for accountability and transparency, immediately circle the wagons, damage control. And that is the focus, damage control, and shift the responsibility. Caller, let me tell you something. I am saying that we would not be having this type of conversation today if the St. Lucia Labour Party, this is bad PR. Yes. And that PR has made a very bad situation into a disaster.
Yes, no, but...
And I see them with this situation in Miku again, doing the same thing again, circling the wagons, defend, creating another disaster for themselves because it is indefensible. And it's just like somebody being stopped on the highway by the police and saying for speeding or whatever traffic infraction, and say, but they have murderers over there, but why are you stopping me? You have this, that. The fact is you have transgressed the law. You have to be honest with yourself and stop that. It's like the ridiculous no apology by Philip J. Pierre on Andre Paul day before yesterday, talking about, I want to apologize if the 7 days people are offended or whatever. You have to acknowledge. You don't need the 7 days to tell you whether what transpired was right or wrong. As the leader of a political party aspiring to be prime minister, you're supposed to know that.
Yes.
And there are times when you have to take decisive action in your organization. Grow some balls.
Yes.
Stop pussyfooting, man. And you want to lead this country? Come on. And then now but you see the if thing. You know, this is pandering. Pandering. A week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, Sean Edward, former Minister of Government, current parliamentarian on the opposition side, knowing what is required, should know, as a former parliamentarian, a former Minister of Government, should know about the laws of St. Lucia, should know about the Constitution, should know what he can do and what he can't do as far as the law is concerned, because they always talk about, the separation of state, separation of the judiciary and the executive and this, that, and the police can't get, the government can't get involved in the police and this, that. You heard them recently. Can't tell the commissioner do this and do that. And all of that. But he wants to stand in the house where the laws are made, where you're expected to know what you're talking about. And then to talk about, if I had my own way, I would go to Bordelais and get all the people who have marijuana convictions. If, what does, if, say, même if là encore, fantasy world, alternate reality, if pas servir rien. If I, so who you pandering to? You see, but that is what you refer to as plausible deniability, to say, well, but I said if. But you know you can't do it, so why say it? You're trying to give some hope to people that you're going to go up there and take them out? Take their relatives out? They say, Memba la Philip JPFA. I apologize if the SDA church think that something wrong was done.
C'est pas if. What about you? What do you think about what happened there, Philip JP?
Yes, about you are the leader.
The SDA church is not going to make the decision for you. You as the leader are supposed to evaluate, conduct your own analysis of the paralysis, and then decide, you know what? This action is not correct. It's not going to take a long time. In fact, you have everything before you to guide you and tell you that section 566 and 567 of the laws of St. Lucia say that what happened there at that church was a criminal offense, punishable by a $1,000 fine and 1 year in prison. But you know, if you have a criminal conviction, my friend, a felony conviction, you can't run. You cannot run. Where's a member law? So all of that, in my estimation, is part of the consideration. And then we see the same thing happening now. Do we have a state of emergency? Yes. Do we have protocols? Yes. Are you supposed to apply for a motorcade? Yes. Was any of that given? No. But again, just like Saturday, we see the circling of the wagons. What we see first thing on TV last night, Ernest Ile. Oh, we'll take it to court. Well, the damn thing is going to go to court if people are charged. Duh.
St. Lucian.
Creating an uproar. But you know what? It's the modus operandi. It's not anything new. We have those who have been around and those whose eyes have been opened, those who have been paying attention. That is the modus operandi of the 6 horsemen and all of them. That's their modus. Blow everything out of proportion. Say everything is bad. The government not doing a good job. Things are bad. So all you're going to hear is that. And then what people are going to say? Well, both of you all the same, so you cancel out each other. So what nonsense you can talk now? That's what it is. Yeah. To cloud, to obstruct, to obfuscate what this government has done. To descend the country into chaos. Win, you win. Win, we win. Lose, we win. That's their mentality. That's what they have said. That's what they have said.
That's what's going on.
Instead of letting the country heal, instead of letting the country... Always, throughout, that has been the modus operandi. Tear down. Even when they win, they mash it up. The city of Castries. Mash up. I was there. I was around. I saw. I smelled Tegas. And those of you who watched the show saw a lot of it, of what I was recounting and playing back. The history is there. That's why they don't want you to talk about the past. Because when you look at the past, when you delve into the past, you see the pattern of behavior. What they say? Hindsight is 20/20 vision. And today is a rainy day. I'm smooth. Everything is flowing.
Yes, no, but giving somebody else a chance to...
Thank you very much, caller.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. We have a call here. I'll take this one on WhatsApp first. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Mr. Robert.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Yeah, you okay? Very strong to be there in the rain, man. But I listened to your the recording by a message by a pastor, I think you said.
Yeah. His name is Garfield Oliver.
And he sound very emotional about what happened. And I support him on that 100%. But on my own taking, I believe right now, not just the Seventh-day Adventist Church, every church in St. Lucia is supposed to condemn behavior with as strong as possible. Condemn, and persons who call them Seventh-day, whether they are evangelical or Pentecostal, Jehovah's Witnesses, should looking at themselves very careful right now as to if they can vote for a party or an organization like that. And I don't think these people are thinking right. And those religious persons, I know, you all are listening and watch what happened very careful. If you're looking at the activities over the past couple of years and months from the Labour Party, it shows you clear exactly how as to whether you want to affiliate with them or you would have to distance yourself from both being a member and give them a cross. I'm serious. I'm not making any joke there. Because what is happening, that has never happened to the Seventh-day Adventist Church before, which is a church that I brought up. And then I am waiting again to see that whether the pastor of that particular denomination would just stand idly by and not, because the church have a certain, either disfellowship you or to suspend you. We have not heard from that from the church, and I believe, and all those excuses that I'm hearing people use. Oh, he was emotional, he lose his son.
Caller, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That as an excuse is ridiculous, because you know what? What should follow that? What should be appended? What should follow on saying that he was distressed or whatever is that, but what he did was wrong. That's what should follow it.
And then petty excuses, and with the leader, the people come in and make a statement, and when he check himself and so, oh well, I mean, this has the person who commit, in fact, I will even use the word atrocity, that he disrupt the service. Person's panic. He wasn't expecting that to happen. It's almost like you're in a place and there is a stampede and people jumping on each other. Yeah. A lot of things could have. What about if at that time there was a miscalculation there now and something went bad?
Caller.
You don't do.
Caller, that situation there, we are a few days off from that, after that. But that situation there at the church could have gone very, very bad, you know.
Serious.
Very bad.
This is no joke. Serious. And then that would not stay like that. And let me warn them. Let me warn the Labour Party. That situation is not going to stay like that. People will talk about until the person who did the act, what he did in the church, they come publicly and apologize to the church and the people of St. Lucia. If not, he need to be expelled from the church. And this is serious. That cannot go away like that. Me and you, all we do is talk. Everybody talks about it. There's need for a serious action, and that action is has to come from the church.
You know what, caller?
The church has it.
You're so right. Because St. Lucia, our children, the people of St. Lucia, and the world is watching this, whether you believe it or not. And an example needs to be set for everyone to see that there is accountability for your action. I'll tell you something. And I'm going there this morning, and who doesn't like it, that's their problem. I'm going there. Let's go. Baldus Raymond had no charges filed against him. There was no criminality in anything. But from the opposition St. Lucia Labour Party, there was a hue and a cry for his dismissal, for him to resign. Nothing that Baldus Raymond did can compare in any way, shape, or form to what happened there on Saturday. The calculated effort and what has ensued.
So true.
And they went hell and high water. They insisted that he had to be fired or resign. You fill in the blanks.
And then I hear your caller, Nen, yesterday called another talk show. And she was adamant that we should be pardoned, why we cannot forgive people. But the same Nen does not want to accept forgive for the Governor General. She said the Governor General need to pay for what he did.
Very well. I give you that. Very well.
And then everybody now, he did not commit something called the unpardonable sin, meaning blasphemy against the Lord. So he should be forgiven and do not hold him accountable to that.
So you see how their tongues are slippery like eels, Slippery like eels.
So the Governor General was committed the unpardonable sin. So he cannot be forgiven.
But you see again, but you see again, they are the judge, jury, and executioner. Is what they say. It can be modified, it can be changed, it can be adapted for their purposes, but it must always be their way. Whatever the SLP does is good. If anybody else does it, it's no good.
briefly, let me just briefly say that there's two things I want to say there. I know the day after tomorrow will be Sabbath day, and that happened on a Sabbath day. It will be given 8 days since these things happen.
Yeah.
I only hope, and I'm serious about. I'm only hope. I will use the word very light word for him. This gentleman would not go to another church because it is as customary on Saturday to go to the Adventist church again, another church, and think this type of dark clouds will just disappear. Let him know that we are monitoring that very closely. That he needs, unless he have not done this, I don't think he will be welcome to another Seventh-day Adventist in any other community in the island. And this is serious. Any other community. The other thing that I want to say again with the clip you played there about this statement in Dominica. Right now, the box stop with the Prime Minister of St. Lucia to see whether, because this matter this clip really have hurt St. Lucia all over the world. It did not only stay in St. Lucia and Dominica, it all over the world, viral everywhere. See how St. Lucia collaborating by creating civil disorder in another one's country. The box stop with the Prime Minister whether to continue to file a charge against this and make sure this man come to court to say where that thing was planned.
But you know, caller,
who was behind it.
You know what? Remember the attack that came from the ranks, the supporters of the SLP, well known, when that Anglican priestess, the priest, spoke about the indiscipline and the vulgar statements that were being made. Remember how she was vilified and attacked on social media? Look what we have now. Remember the statements that were made from at least one, deep within the SLP, because that's the reality. I ain't making it up. Talking about throwing grenades and tear gas inside the house and putting it under the seat of Guy Joseph and the Prime Minister. Remember that? Did you hear the SLP distance themselves? Did you hear the leader of the SLP say anything about that? Did you hear any? Not one, not a peep. No pun intended. Not a peep. Nada.
None of them did not. But again, it is clearly more and more they are open the eyes of our St.
Yes, they're exposing themselves.
Also, they are they even making it worse than 17. Not they even make it right now that party should even be banned from associating with politics. So the people have the eye to see. They have an ear, like the Bible says, he that have an ear, let him hear. And they are seeing what is happening closely, and they will be the one decide as to what is happening. If they think that this type of organization should lead this country, or they should stay where they are and losing the other 60 they have.
Okay.
But I am waiting for the Seventh-day Adventist mission that this individual should not go in another community, in another church, until this matter have not resolved. That cannot stay like that, and we will talk about this until something serious is happened, because that has never happened before, and that should never condone and accept.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you. Thanks for keeping it real. Folks, and you see the same thing happening again. The police have taken action. People have been alarmed by the actions as far as the protocols are concerned. We saw the spikes after the march, after the holidays, after everything. The police are acting now, and we see the same thing that happened with that church incident happening from the SLP again. Watch and observe. Yopaka Apon. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Norbert.
Morning, sir.
But in professional athletes, especially track and field athletes, they have a program that they follow, and it's meant for them to peak at major
just at the time.
championships.
Yeah.
Like the athletics, like the Olympics and so on.
Yeah.
And I think what we're seeing now with the Labour Party, that they peaked too early. And they are just on the way down.
En
and they are tumbling.
En
and they have
descendant.
absolutely no control.
Yeah.
And I think it all started when the Prime Minister made that walk in Dennery. in Oleon. And Sean Edwards came out with some of his supporters. I think from then they started to campaign thinking that elections was going to be called soon. And that is a grave mistake that they have made. So they have picked too early, and now they are on the way down. They are tumbling, and they have absolutely no control. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for keeping it real. 4560931 is in the studio if you want to give me a ring-a-ling on the ting-a-ling, or WhatsApp 485-0931. 485-0931 is WhatsApp, and the direct line in the studio is 456-0931. Good morning to the minibus drivers. Good morning to the passengers on the minibuses all over St. Lucia. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Morning.
Morning, sir. Morning, sir.
Morning.
Go ahead.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
what happened there between Guy and Henry?
I don't know.
You believe both of them have to blame for that?
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Guy was in a church.
Both of them have to blame.
Why you say that?
So you're taking that for us like it's something that happens so much like it's a crime. So what is
Actually, caller, hold on a second. Actually, it is a criminal offense what happened on Saturday.
I don't think that, because that always happening already.
Caller, it's not about what all. Whoa. Caller, hold on. I ain't care about house. No. You don't make the rules here.
No, but
you're not going to mislead people with that type of alternate reality. You ain't controlling the lines. Don't try to justify it. There are a number of indisputable facts with regard to this. The fact is that what transpired at that church is a criminal offense. Zero, end of story. So we can't get past that. Don't try to make it any different. The fact is a criminal offense occurred at that church. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. The fact is that Joachim Henry, a former senator, a current candidate for the SLP in the upcoming elections, drove from wherever he was, whether it was his home in the Carolee, Chase Gardens area, or wherever else. He drove to Forestier. He drove down that rutted road. He stopped around the corner. He walked out of his vehicle. He entered the church. He had multiple opportunities. A month ago, what he's alluding to in the church occurred way back in the past elections, 5 years ago, 4 years ago. There's video of him passing Guy Joseph on a self-help or construction project or whatever it was in Forestier. He passed within a coat of paint of him. He never said nothing. Caller, please. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Mr. Nabat.
Morning, sir.
I don't have much to say this morning, but when I listen to people like the last caller there, those fellas don't listen to news. They don't read anything when it comes to our law. So if you are saying that it is not a criminal offense, there's criminal act and there's criminal offense. What is simply saying there that what the guys did at the Catholic Church years back is nothing.
Yeah.
And also what happened in Piero. You understand?
That's right.
When the guy tried to win the church in Piero either last year or year before.
Yeah.
Just like taking that time, they have the radio stations where they call in and talk all sort of crap. That is not the radio station for you all. This is a radio station where people come to learn and not to come and talk nonsense about it's not a criminal act. The people have been targeting Guy Joseph every time they at Guy Joseph. I was looking at a video where the guy passed. You knew very well Guy was on his project. What the hell are you going and do there? You can find other places in the constituency where you can go and talk to people.
And you know what, caller? This is something, the antagonism of the SLP. And I'm going to throw it out there now. They hear that you in the neighborhood, in the same constituency. It's the right of anybody to be anywhere in St. Lucia.
Yes.
How many weeks ago the Prime Minister was in Ciceron? What happened there?
Who went there to confront him? Who went there to challenge him and ask him, what you doing here? How dare you? How dare you? The city... they need to stop this foolishness, man.
To other people?
Eh,
With the foolishness they come in and talk about there? Just behave yourself and call the radio station you normally call, okay? And just shut your mouth on that radio station. That's all I have to say for now.
Take it easy, caller. Thank you very much. I wouldn't quite say shut your mouth like that. But you know, folks, let's take a WhatsApp call now. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real. Good morning, you're on the air. Okay, you're not ready yet. I'm going to take this next call. A lot of calls coming in. Good morning, you're on the air.
Hi,
let's keep it real.
Is that the Mr. Norbert show?
Yes, it is. Keeping it real.
Norbert, that's the first time I'm calling you.
Well, you get the bell here. Thanks for calling.
My sentiment on the matter with regards to Minister Guy and
Yes.
Joaquin.
Yes.
I am speaking in light of Christianity. I don't think Minister Guy has a good heart, because I'm saying this is his challenge to say, hey, I am showing St. Lucians and God by extension that I'm just going to forgive Joaquin and move on. Why all the police investigation and so on? As a UWP supporter, I think I'm feeling ashamed. Just to forgive Joaquin and move on. Why are they going through court to do criminal offense? To me, when you commit a criminal offense, to me, you cannot go for politics anyway. That's what he's trying to do to Joaquin. Honestly speaking, as a UWP supporter, we want to show SLP that you have peace in your heart. At least, why continue the case? Give the man a chance to continue grieving. You adding more injury to his pain and you say you're a Christian? Come on, we should try to look beyond that. On a serious note, Norbert, I respect your show. I have never called your show before, but I'm saying, but just forgive the man and just move on. Forgive him, for he probably didn't know better at the time he was grieving. Why are you making a fiasco? Milton Daisy as a commissioner, I think he's really doing something. I don't know, that man is not there in good interest of the public. He's there to do nastiness. I don't know how to call it, but he's not. I mean, two politicians are going vice each other. There's no way you can come to some mediation among the two and just resolve that. Why take the man to task on criminal offense investigation? We saw the tape, okay? I think the man is just hurting. It's time that Minister Guy use the good heart that I think I know he has. If he says he's a Christian, let St. Lucian see the Christianity in him. Don't speak it for the Bible and call out the scriptures. I think he should forgive him and move on. Give him the forgiveness. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Folks, I don't think I need to add anything to that. I don't need to add anything to that. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real. Yes. Caller, you know what? I have enough confidence in the Keeping It Real fans out there and the people listening to the show that last caller, I really don't need to say anything to that. I don't need to add anything to that. I don't need to
tell
add.
me the lady's calling and say, forgive the man. Yes, you could forgive the man, but the man has to pay for what he did. Call a spade a spade.
Caller. Let's don't. I'm not going to encourage you to waste your breath on that, if I can say that. I'm not even going to get flustered by that at all. That's so far out there. It's in outer space, out of touch, out of reality, out of sensibility. That's all I can say. Okay, thank you very much, caller.
Okay.
Have a great day. Folks, okay. You know, we have sensible discussions. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real. Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning, you're on the air. You need to listen to your phone, turn down the radio.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Nabat.
Good morning. You need to, caller, you need to turn, caller, you need to turn down your radio. I have headphones on. I'm getting feedback.
As a concerned citizen,
yes,
I think that caller is a hypocrite. That caller is not a party supporter. And she should go and learn about Christianity.
Yeah.
And the laws of St. Lucia.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
Well said, caller. Thank you very much. Well said. Well said. Short and sweet, to the point and accurate. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Norbert.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good.
All right, that's awesome. So, Norbert, I've been hearing so many people calling and asking for apology to the general public and to the church. What about to the minister and his family?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the experience going through that, being at church. If it could be done in his church, Fallon Creek's personal home
Yeah.
I think that an apology needs to be addressed
Well
to the
said,
minister
caller.
and his family as well.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
And no, but as a first-time voter, if nothing else made my decision, for me, this has made my decision for sure. Because there has been no accountability or responsibility being taken by the St. Lucia Labour Party. And for that to be happening, imagine what can be done if they are elected into power. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for keeping it real. We have another call. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, good morning, Albert.
Hey, morning. How are you doing?
Very good. I'm good. I've been listening to your show, very educational.
Thank you.
Thing on the button. I like when you played the tips about the pastor and everything. I believe, in my opinion, looking at the videos, the evidence, and listening to a caller calling and saying he's a UWP and they should forgive the guy, it seems to me now that if everybody has to commit a crime in this country, you have to forgive them.
Well, it's about time that they free the guys from the cathedral murders and the invasion that occurred in 2000.
Exactly. It's
You know?
free them up. But no, but what I have to say, man, I mean, I really have a problem. And I'm going to say that again. The Labour Party, those people are demonic, man. You know? This is what it is. And I keep telling you all from last year, they are evil. No matter what is right, is wrong. Because whenever something, and exactly, look at that. Wherever the United Party candidates go and look at the project, those guys everywhere, the devil behind them. And you know what was in that? You see that thing we had recently there, the witch thing? That have a lot to do with those Labour politicians, the witch thing they had recently. You understand? I don't know what they're giving those guys to drink. And those guys are not simple. They are not simple. The fellas have a demand in them and the attitude. Look at when Joachim was in the church. Look at the attitude, man. My gracious God, man. And I blame in some of the churches in St. Lucia, And you see the Catholic Church, which I belong to, they've been quiet. They've been quiet on those issues. They have a voice where they could come and say something. They're not, and I'm happy.
Caller, when you were growing up, the church was much more emphatic, much more vocal about issues in society. Now, I remember myself.
Boy, I telling you, it's very a shame in this time. And I don't believe that issue with a man going and mash up a church service. Come on, I don't even know what to say about that right now. And I mean, the man is your brother. Not even, he said the man is not your friend, but the man is your brother. As long all Christians are brothers and sisters. You understand? And but I don't know. And I saw that video there. You went after the man while the man was teaching, You break up the service, where there were people worshiping, That is trespassing, man. This guy should be accountable for that.
That's interesting. That's very, caller, that's very, well, I don't know. Well, I don't know if you want to say trespassing because it was, in essence, open to the public. And it's somewhere that any member of the public could go. So I don't know if it would be trespassing.
No, but for a man to live right where he lived and making all that noise and, come on, man. To me, he should know better. And I'm going to say it again. You know the man very well. If the man, people, Paul, Bola, how they saying it, and you're not happy, it's your Sabbath too. You could simply send a message and say, Honorable, this is the case there. I'm not happy about it. Can we meet or, and you could have met somewhere and to discuss it. This is not the place. People all over the world watching that, And Christians in St. Lucia, you'll have to take that very serious. Condemn that. You understand?
They need to stop that, man. Stop that.
They need to stop it. Stop You know? No, but honestly speaking, you see devils, the Labour Party devils, please don't even try to go around my parents to think they're going to vote for you. Because you're demonic, man. You know, I don't believe in you all. Right now, in my opinion, there's not a St. Lucia Labour Party. It's a St. Lucia devil Labour Party that day. You know? Devils alone that day. When you have a man going to Dominica, and what were you using Dominica? No, but when he went to Dominica in St. Lucia,
it was planned in St. Lucia. It was planned in St. Lucia to happen in Dominica. And for what they did in Dominica, we have to vote them out in St. Lucia. Who you voting out is the government. So these are the people you saying that were responsible for the plans in St. Lucia for what happened in Dominica?
Yes, and then I was told RSS went in there,
yes,
right?
RSS. There was so much trouble in Dominica, RSS had to be deployed.
Now, let me tell you something. You see that elections in Dominica, will be held in St. Lucia very shortly.
Yeah.
I more believe in the security personnel. That is my view, and I keep calling for the RSS. Because you see those guns that were coming in that direction, we have to be careful with it. And I take that very, very, very serious. And I make no bones about that. Very, very serious. Because day by day, the St. Lucia Devil Labour Party making noise. Okay? And then you have the leader, going on, and the man I don't even want to talk about.
All right, caller. We'll chat later.
In my opinion, well, the political leader, in my opinion, someone have an apology for the Seventh Church and St. Lucia Lodge. You understand? And those are the people who want in political office to govern this country. No.
Same old pattern over and over and over. The same old cover-up, the same old condoning of the lawlessness, the same old nonsense. Well, what do you expect, caller? When these people can call a rally, a march, in the middle of a global pandemic. What do you expect? What do you expect?
That's devilish people are being after. They don't care. The devil will push you to do the wrong things, And that's what they are. Those guys pushing people to do the wrong things because they want power. That's what it is. Go out there, get sick and die. That's what it is. Blood.
Caller, let me tell you something. Let me say something on the show now, this morning. Let me say something. And this is to show you what is encouraged, what is perpetuated, what is given fuel to. Day before yesterday, I went up to Forest here. Okay? You saw the show, Keeping It Real, on Tuesday night. You saw the video I took of the road to get to the church. Nobody had gotten any information on that to show the people of St. Lucia. Let them see exactly where, how, what was going on there. People want to know. A lot of people in St. Lucia don't even know. They know Forestier is in Castries, but they don't know where it is.
True.
Right?
True.
And whilst I was there, I went there to take photos, and the video that you saw the photos as well. Somebody must have said something to somebody. And a guy came down there and challenged me. What you doing there? Leave here, man. I have his photo too. Did you see the video they took of me driving out today? I waved to them. I was very nice. And another one there. Sauka face here, gasa na batu sav. Sauka face here. Na pote moto kamwe na bloko is adida is here.
But I tell you, demonic.
This is encouraged, and this is what I am talking about. But of course, I don't pay too much attention to those things. But that is what is encouraged. But all the video that they were showing, they didn't say, they didn't record when Sauga Faisia Gasani doing signs like this, Sauga Faisia, Soti Sia manu Pavle Wisia, Ukavin Popotwe.
But that's harassment.
Yeah. No, but you see, that is what these actions are what emboldens people. This is what emboldens people when they see that they can get the protection that people will say and do almost anything to excuse their behavior. That's what it is. Well, let me tell you something, partner. Saint-Lucie, moi c'est en Saint-Lucie, même que tout le monde. Ek ma paix en Saint-Lucie. I am a Lucian. Okay? And I have a right to speak about the issues just like everybody else wants to talk about them. You don't have a right in St. Lucia more than anybody else. And want to make believe that certain people have more of a right here than other people. If you're Indian, you ain't have as much right as a black man, as a white man, as a whatever. See who say en Saint-Lucien, all the rules and regulations, all the laws, all the protections that the Constitution of St. Lucia affords you as a black man, it affords you as a white man in St. Lucia, it affords you as an Indian in St. Lucia, it affords you as a Syrian, it affords you as a visitor in St. Lucia. Brother man, let me tell you something. The only thing a visitor cannot do in St. Lucia is vote.
That's true.
All the rights and privileges that you have, anybody who comes off a cruise ship, the protections that you have, the freedom of speech that you have is accorded to everyone.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you have to harass them.
Mais c'est même bail la deo. Mais c'est même bail la deo. Nadi ou se en malboui kuka di mo inde gwen. Thank you very much, caller.
You're welcome.
Thanks for keeping it real. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
You know, folks, this foolishness in this country has to stop. People can speak and talk about things, and there are just some people who believe that St. Lucia is theirs and theirs alone. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real. Good morning, you're on the air. Okay. 456-0931. We'll take one call, and then we're going to go to the messages via WhatsApp. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real. Good morning, you're on the air.
Hello.
You need to turn off your radio. You need to turn off your radio, caller.
I'm doing that now.
Right, you got to listen to the phone. Go when we have show la bon matin. Right. Talk to me.
In harmony with the lady who came up and spoke about the forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of people don't understand that, Norbert, but sometimes you may have to explain that to them.
Mm-hmm.
If you look, there are certain laws and practices and certain things that are being done.
Yeah.
Even if you step away from it, the law takes it into their hand. You know?
That's right.
When you look at
That's right.
Yeah.
If you kill somebody, the family can't say we don't want to prosecute them.
Yeah. Here is another thing. If, like the children, the rape and the thing, a lot of these people used to take monies.
Wangement.
And thing.
But that's an offense itself, eh?
Yeah,
misprison of a felony. Misprison of a felony.
Now, even if, okay, you may come to court, because I have known of cases like that where the people don't come anymore.
Yeah, I know that too.
And that is still going on. The people still, you know, so sometimes, you know, people don't understand how the system works, you know.
Yeah.
And the other part of the thing is that now with this televised overseas, the world actually, on the web, when a representative goes and gets into this type of situation, right, it makes it difficult. It creates an embarrassment for, you know, for those in power. Or let us say, like for tomorrow, if the party gets into power, all right, they will not acknowledge you. They will not respect you, you see, because of what has happened. So that is why you see sometimes, you, as a leader or representative, you have to be particular as to how you live and the things that you do. Now, you know, this situation in itself, sometimes people are driven into things without really realizing it. It happens.
That's right.
And some of us, we don't have an explanation for that. Because knowing the man like that, you would not have expected something like that would happen. You know, I feel for him myself, you know, but then the reality of it, you see, that is what comes out of these things. So it behoves each and every one of us when we are walking the streets and what we are saying and what we are doing. Another negativity I realize about our St. Lucians, man. You know, they all go about, or most of them, a certain sect, or let us put it that way.
part of the percentage of persons, all right, even educated, as well as they may be, they are not fully aware of the standards and practices and the outcome of how they should relate to certain things, So, and what happens to that is that at the spur of the moment, when you go into it, it would appear as if it is nothing. But then when the whole thing is transpired into, the chaos, look at the amount of things that is arising at the back of that. And there is more. And even right now, you have certain people who apply for office. And then they have difficulties elsewhere. Now, and then you find that a charge has not been laid. So you find these people now, they're still powerful. And then
there's this feeling of invincibility, that you can't touch them.
That is the thing. So we have to be very particular as to how we go about things, Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for keeping it real. Okay, so I'm going to get to the messages now because we have quite a number of messages here. Okay, let's go through this one from Barbados. Uh-oh. Hold on there, folks. Okay, here we go. Alrighty, let's get to the bottom of the list. Whoa. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Alright, here we go. Let's get to it. Quite a number of messages here, folks. People on WhatsApp have been languishing. Okay, let's go. Mr. Henry was wrong for what he did, but please don't say a politician should conduct themselves a certain way. Was Spider an example at the restaurant? Well, you figure that one out for yourself. You see again, folks, that issue was dealt with, and whatever explanations and whatever was dealt with at the time, we have this issue to deal with today. I ain't care what happened last week. I ain't care what happened the week before. One issue at a time. Let's deal with things sequentially. One thing at a time. You don't go, it's the same thing again. You stop somebody and say, well, what about over there? I don't care about what about. This is the issue being dealt with right now. So bringing that up now is not changing the issue. It's just distracting. And that is what is used all the time so that you don't deal with the issues. Good morning, Norbert. Sometimes I don't know where to start when it comes to the Labour Party. They sound ridiculous and make things difficult for themselves every single day. Philip J. Pierre has become the worst of the worst. Poor jab. Keep dreaming, sir. You won't be the next Prime Minister of St. Lucia. Sorry, Jose. The UWP is well on the way to continue their work and what they have always started. Next one. Listening to this audio, that was the recording of the pastor earlier. Listening to this audio gave me goosebumps and tears are falling from my recently operated on eye. Where have we gone as a nation? Prayers for our St. Lucia. Somebody here says, good morning, Norbert. Let's prepare for the backlash from our notorious violent inciter on Facebook, just like we saw after the Anglican priest made her comments about respecting the office of the Prime Minister. Yep, well said, caller, well said. Well said. Let's go to the next one. Folks, we have quite a number of messages here. Good morning, Mr. Norbert. Hope all is well with you and your family. I would like the political media house in St. Lucia to make I would like the political media houses in St. Lucia to make a doctrine of the Mr. Henry saga, just like they ran with Miss Bell Rose's words and make a doctrine out of it. Our country is going down slowly with people's attitude. I am scared. Thanks for reading my message. Well, you're welcome. I would like the Prime Minister, candidates, and all supporters, both home and abroad, to stand with the Honorable Guy Joseph because he is hurting in this situation. Next one. Good morning. Can we see the church video, please? Well, we don't have it here, but you can go to the Facebook page of Sky FM. This is facebook.com/SkyFMSLU. And you can go to the Keeping It Real show on the 27th. Starts at 8:30 in the night. 27th. And you can scroll through there and watch the show. And the video is in there. Facebook.com/SkyFMSLU. Good morning, Mr. Williams. The issue with Jufali on stage in Dominica, isn't this an act of treason? If I'm right, can you let the public know that? Next one. Good morning, Norbert. Can you believe what took place in Miku? Ernest Hille has the audacity to say that if charges are laid against anybody, he is going to take the police to court. Can you believe that donkey? Crazy. Next one. Good morning, Mr. Williams. The leader of the opposition has shown that he is sin cojones, which means without balls, and has no authority, but is just a figurehead. Or is he morally moribund and without decency? Why is all he has failed to ask or demand the recusal of Mr. Henry as a candidate, but the pink elephant is Mistress Henry. What motivated her to condemn another woman in such a caustic, vile, and feral manner? She too has got to be brought to account. Okay, a lot of... Good morning, Norbert. There is a rowdy who always likes to raise her voice. Have you heard her regarding the church infraction yet? There's a lady. I wonder which one that is. Good morning, sir. I always enjoy your program. I want Philip J. Pierre to outline what he has done for Bocage. When the guy went to the church and shouted lava, he was arrested. Henry should be arrested too. Are the laws of St. Lucia there for only some people? Next one. Good morning, Norbert. The lady that said Guy has no heart and he should forgive Joachim, it looks like that was planned by her. It seems like forgiveness is only one way. Good morning, Norby. I wonder if it was Richard, if Mr. Henry would go behind him that way. Next one. Good morning. I think we're forgetting the church members here who were scared and traumatized by this situation. How can they ever feel comfortable or safe in any church again? Yes, he can be forgiven, but there are consequences for these types of actions. Without taking action, this is saying that it's okay for anyone to come to a service and disrupt it in any way. Norbert, he needs to be held accountable. Next one. Good morning, Norbert. Mr. Joachim has suffered the terrible loss of his son, and that on its own is enough to cause even the mentally strongest ones among us to be deranged. Well, the mentally strongest ones among us don't become deranged. They mellow out, they accept the situation, they go through their grief, they bury their loved ones, they go through their period of counseling or the wake period or whatever it is, and they continue life. They don't descend into this. To make matters worse, he is also prematurely agonizing over his impending loss at the upcoming general elections, a loss that will certainly end his lackluster political career. This has exacerbated his malaise. However, that may be a reason for his deviant behavior, but no excuse for him not to apologize for his disgusting actions. He is a drowning man. My heart goes out to him. Never underestimate desperate people. You never know how far they will go to get what they want. Next one. Norbert, if he entered the church and killed Mr. Joseph, forgive him too? My God. These SLPs, I am sick and tired of them all. Good morning, Mr. Norbert. How are you? I'm doing good. It's a wonderful day for me. It's raining and the clouds have gotten darker. And I just got a report a while ago that there is flooding in the Dennery village and also in the Dennery Valley. So those of you driving through there from the south, or you heading north or heading south, just be careful in that area. Look out for pools of water and, be very careful. Don't be speeding. Good morning, Mr. Norbert. How are you? Do you think if it was blah, blah, blah. Did I read this? Do you think if it were Mr. Joseph who disturbed the church, people would call your show to say forgive him? No, I'm trying to make out what's the... Who does this lady think she's fooling? She ain't no UWP Papi show. I don't believe she is either. Good morning, Mr. Norbert. It's my first time contacting you. Well, you get the bell. But I'm an avid listener. Thank you so much. My take on this is that I agree that we should all forgive him, but there should be consequences to his actions. We should not send the wrong message out there to our populace, especially our youth. They love to imitate sometimes. Remember, he is aspiring to serve in the highest office. Flambeau to the max. Hi, Norbert. PJP is the only St. Lucian alive because he only holds one passport. Oh, he's the only St. Lucian alive who holds one passport, but will not tell us. Next one. The man needs to be charged because if a Rasta just play, he's shouting fire outside any church, he will be arrested and jailed. The people are talking. The people are talking. Good morning, Mr. Norbert. Is Mr. Henry still grieving that he cannot give an apology to the church, but wants the church to forget his actions? He is grieving so much that he went to the church and created the fracas that ensued. Norbert, good morning. Here is a most plausible spin on last Saturday's occurrence. The WhatsApp messages from Guy Joseph to Joachim Henry apparently put paid to the SLP narrative of deep animus between the parties. Especially if Guy did show it to another person. Henry was therefore forced to justify his membership of SLP, much in the same way a member of a cult or gang is required to prove that he is worthy of membership. Other subsequent events, in my mind, support this theory. Joachim Henry was played. He was the sacrificial lamb. Next message. Good morning, Norbert. I thank God for you that he would continue to bless and protect you. Thank you. Also thank God for this station. We are now seeing what the SLP are capable of doing. Good morning, Mr. Norbert. Has Joachim been flushed since the incident? If no, flush him and flush his wife twice. Good morning, Mr. Williams. The last lady who called needs to know that the SLP were the ones who fueled what happened in the church. They were the ones who went to media first. Pierre's apology was not sincere. And if she wants forgiveness for Joachim, they have condoned his action first. And then he will get forgiveness. So I guess, how can you forgive someone when his SLP memberships are telling him what he did was right or excusable? Good morning, Norbert. As a previous contributor said, I believe Mr. Henry and the leader of the opposition need to apologize to the minister, district rep, and his wife. This must be done. Next one, Norbert. Well, good morning, Norbert. Don't forget that it was the same SLP who put nomination day on a Saturday for the 2016 elections. Norbert, that might be part of Joachim's plan to create employment. All churches must be thinking of fencing up and engaging armed security like in the US. Interesting perspective. I don't understand how everybody believes Mr. Joachim Henry was feeling and Mr. Guy doesn't have any. The nasty comments I've read towards Mr. Guy Joseph, especially his childless, that he is childless, That should hurt someone. Sorry. Good morning. Well, good morning to you. Next message. Mr. Norbert, we always hear about these individuals in America who claim that they were being bullied by one person or persons and they storm into a building and start shooting. Are they not held responsible for their actions? Are they being embraced or supported? Why is the Labour Party making Joachim to be the victim? The people are talking. And somebody sent me a video. There was some water spout or something up in the Babonneau area there yesterday. Good morning, Mr. Nob. The folks at Under the Breadfruit Tree Snacket are listening to Sky FM. Under the Breadfruit Tree Snacket. Good morning to you. Every day, the Adventist pastor have some shame to the SLP. You cannot compare Spider's scenario with what happened last Sabbath in the church. You will hear the SLP condemning the Adventist pastor for speaking out. Folks, modus operandi, anyone who says anything in support of the UWP, any agency, any government employee, any international agency that says anything in support of this government that is not to the liking of the SLP, they come in for immediate attack. Everybody knows that. Statistics Department, Ministry of Finance, professionals, the same ones that give information, advice, and statistics to the former administration. Now, when they do the very same thing, but it's favorable to the government, they become targets, attack on their credibility, on their integrity, on their professionalism. More things change, the more they stay the same with the SLP. I must say, you are doing a tremendous job. Keep it up, and make sure you add my number all the way from Labrie. Good morning to you. Next one. Good morning, Norbert. They are adding more nails to their coffin. These behaviors are in their DNA. Next one. Good morning, Mr. Williams. I don't believe this woman is good in her senses. When Kenny took St. Lucian's hard-earned tax dollars to investigate Guy Joseph, didn't he see it fit that Kenny should have... You see, we have so many hypocrites among us. Even when they breathe, you know them. Tell them don't pretend to be UWPs when in fact they are in an SLP hack. These people really working for Satan, and in their mind, they're fooling us. But time will tell. Next one. Good morning, sir. Both Henry and his accomplice should be arrested. Here we go. Hi, Norbert. PJP is the only St. Lucian alive because he only... the person sent that twice. Good morning, Mr. Norbert. And UWPs, in that video, you can hear Mr. Joachim saying, drop me. That's not quite what he said. I will kill that man. He didn't say. You have the words wrong. And Joachim realized he couldn't. That's why he started. Next one. If last month I'm not going to repeat that. 3 church leaders have come out to condemn the reckless, lawless, divisive, antisocial, and criminal behavior of the SLP. Father Albert, the female Anglican priest, and now the leader in the SDA church. Wait for the SLP and their supporters to attack this SDA leader, just as they attacked Father Albert and the Anglican priest. Very well. I have not been asked to mention it on air, but someone has told me that they have come under attack because, I'll bring it up later if they want to, but again, anyone who has any association with this government, anyone who is perceived by the SLP to not be singing from their hymn book, you are open season. There's open season on you. This has to change. And we see yet again unfolding the same old attitude, the same old circle the wagons, the same old nonsense of the SLP which got them and Joachim Henry where they are today. Failing to acknowledge, failing to accept when they're wrong. Wrong and strong, but we'll hear it. Same old behavior. I'll take one more call on the ring-a-ling, ting-a-ling. 456-0931. You'll have 1 minute. 456-0931. Maybe you've been trying to call, you couldn't get through. Giving you one more call. 456-0931. Just to let you know, coming up at 9 o'clock this morning, champagne in the morning. And this morning, as usual, we're going to have the police officers here. And we have our last call via the landline. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real. Turn off your radio.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir. How you doing?
Yeah, I was waiting. I'm glad I got through last caller. 1 minute, you said, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Here's what I'll say.
Yes.
I listened to the entire show. You talked about modus operandi of the Labour Party.
Yeah.
Good. I don't know. I think it was Martin Luther King or one of them who said, if you forget your past, you are condemned to repeat it.
You are doomed to repeat it.
You are doomed to repeat it. Good. So let me give the UWP supporters some past to remember and try not to repeat it. And it's also for the Labour Party too. You remember break glass in your ass?
Oh, yes.
Good. That's one. And you remember it was Spider-Man Tooth who tried to put peace between these two men. Eh?
That's right.
Good.
That was well. Let's say it straight. That was Julian Hunt, wasn't it?
It was Julian Hunt. You remember? Good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm going to more modern history now. There are many others.
And just to set the record straight, so that just keeping it real, so everybody can get things together. The person who said, "If you forget your past, you are doomed to repeat it," is George Santayana.
Oh, George Santayana. It was only a repetition by, he was only quoting this man.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead, caller.
Okay, so we're going back to more modern.
Mm-hmm.
That bridge in Soufrière was broken down at the time of the election when Alan Shaftney was going up. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Alan Shaftney lost, but then the bridge was continued by the Labour Party.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Shaftney went there at the reopening of the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, everybody has the same rights as long as you are St. Lucian, anywhere in St. Lucia.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Shaftney went to the bridge opening. Who confronted him ready to fight with him?
Mm-hmm.
Harold Dalton.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that also?
Yeah.
Labour Party again, modus operandi.
Mm-hmm.
Then, in the House of Parliament, Philippe J. Pierre won Guy Joseph. You remember that, sir?
Yeah.
Who gave him a poussade? In other words, to say,
Sorti la man, go outside, Sean.
There you go, modus operandi. In that same House of Parliament, who confronted the member for Soufrière when he said, you spent 25 years in the community, you have not... There you go again.
And he could not be subdued sufficiently by the speaker. He was off the handle.
You see what I mean, sir?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
for the world to see.
What's his name there? Hiller didn't go that far, but that could have been a knockout blow for St. Lucia, what he did in Dominica.
Yeah.
A knockout blow. Both diplomatically, internationally, whatever nationally you want to put it.
And you know what, caller? You know what? Always the underlying tones. We will fight you. We'll fight you in the streets.
That's what I mean.
We'll fight you in Parliament. And now we'll fight you in the church.
Good. And now look at what happened. I want to send a message there to our UWP supporters who have a change of mind.
To the people of St. Lucia.
Sympathy for Philippe J. Pierre and not Sean, what's his name there, who went to that SDH. You all cannot do that because these fellas will not forgive you all. As soon as they get into power, you can't pige me. I want to send a message. It's time to move away from these guys.
Bad news. Bad news.
Come follow us. Come follow us. We are the ones who are looking after the country and who want to develop our country. Thank
All right,
you, Mother
caller.
Saparandai.
Thank you very much, caller.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling. Hope you have a great day. Thank you so much. Let's see here now. Okay. Last one on WhatsApp. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real. Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning to you, Mr. Williams.
Good morning.
And listeners.
Good morning.
You know, personally, Mr. Williams, I haven't said anything concerning the incident with Mr. Henry because I want to give the SLP enough time for them to realize what went on and for them to call it out and put it as it is. But let me take some time to touch Mr. Philip JPI interview with Andre Paul. You know, we
Make it quicker, caller. Make it quick. Okay. Caller, you have 4 minutes. Caller, hold on, hold on. Caller, make it quick, okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. So I just want to highlight the fact that what I listened and I heard Mr. Pierre was simply looking for sympathy vote from the supporters of the from the UWP. Because he kept mentioning Mr. Lancico, when he was really to talk about what he's going to do. So I'm telling the people in Castro, do not let that fool you to think that after he win, he'll realize Mr. Lancico was important. Let us go out and do the right thing and vote what you know.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for keeping it real. That's it for today, folks. I know we have some more messages. Let me go through those quickly there. Good morning. I am yet to hear an apology or any form of remorse from Mr. Henry. Just imagine your kid beat up on another kid and his... Mr. Norbert, it's raining in St. Vincent. Watching NBC Radio St. Vincent and the Grenadines live on Facebook and Sky FM on my laptop. Well, good morning to you. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. I believe in forgiveness and God calls us to forgive. But He is also a just God, and that justice must prevail. When we sin, He forgives, but we must still face the consequences of our sins. The caller must, in the same breath, ask the other parties to show humility and apologize where it is needed. And one more message here. The caller was about to swing, but she is no supporter of the UWP. And last message here. Norbert, this is your schoolmate. Yeah. Okay, somebody asking for my number. Wants me to call after the show. Well, that's it, folks. That's it this morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. Another morning edition of Keeping It Real. Tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock to 8 a.m. None other than Minerva Ward here with me on the morning edition of Keeping It Real. We'll be bringing you all the action, and of course, you know it's going to be hard hitting. The hammer and the scalpel. That's what somebody said. Thank you so much for joining me on a rainy day in St. Lucia. Looks like it's going to be like that just about all day. The weather forecast shows clouds and rain in and out all of today. Current temperature in Castries is, what is it right now? 73 degrees. Going up today to a high of 82. 73 degrees in Castries right now. It cooled down a little bit because of the rain. Going up to a high now, it says 82 degrees. So it should be nice. Lovely rainy day, folks. Have a great day. Take your umbrella, your boots, your Wellingtons, whatever. And be careful. Watch for the water holes, water puddles. Don't speed. Don't drive and drink. Thank you so much. Good morning to the policemen. Good morning to the nurses, doctors, minibus drivers, everybody out there. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hello everyone, I'm Norbert Williams, right here on Sky FM 93.1. Join me Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. for the morning edition of Keeping It Real. And on Tuesdays and Fridays, Minerva Ward joining me from Canada, right near the North Pole. Although it's cold over there, it's gonna be hot in here. Don't you forget, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on GVD TV and streaming live on Facebook. Don't you miss it.
Nom la ka fe bay.
Hi everyone, I'm Amira Sere and I'm a student at the Monipo Pasias Combined School. I'm in grade 6 and my teacher is Miss Stanislas. My favorite subject would be math. I don't normally like it, but my teacher makes it finds a way to make it fun. I also love the positive quote she put up all over the walls. It reminds me to keep going. Also, the new wing is very impressive. The balcony is very large. So at break time, I can eat my snack and, go for a nice little walk. I also like the size of the classroom, so I'm not sticking on anybody because, 6 feet apart. Before, it was a rocky ride coming to school when I normally take the bus. But now, the drivers don't have any complaints now that the district rep fixed it. Before, it was like a rocky, stony road. But now that they fixed it with some concrete and nice tools, it's a smooth ride. I may even fall asleep. Thank you, Dr. Rigobert.
People-centered, community-focused, building economic empowerment and resilience in our constituencies. Let's talk. Let us discuss. Constituency Vibes with me, your host, Ricky Alexander, every Wednesday on Sky FM 93.1 from 8 p.m.